Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. I'm going to talk today a little bit about wokeism in both the prisons and society in general, because it came to my notice today a little news article on the BBC about the Greater Manchester Fire Service Chief, a man called David Russell, who has issued the form of a papal bull. If you know what one of them is, it's an order from above. Yeah, that firemen are no longer firemen. They are now firefighters. Yes, folks. Yeah, because he said that the term fireman was sexist, exclusionary, and a form of microaggression that was damaging to our culture. So from now on, nobody will be referred to as a fireman. They will be referred to as a firefighter. This is to accommodate the 8.2% of all firefighters in the United Kingdom who are female. I don't know how many are male but identify as female. It could be a few of them as well. Certainly there will be in future. I mean, you've got to take that into account, I'm not Fred anymore. I'm Frida. Yeah, and I insist on being called Frida, and I'm wearing long hair and a skirt instead of all that clunkety fire uniform. And how is it going to affect the full Monty? That's what I want to know. Do you think I'm sexy? That all that stuff, was it? Anyway, crazy idea that. So that's what they're doing in the fire service. In the prisons, which of course is what this is all about, Tales from the Jails, yeah, the same kind of thing pertains. Obviously we have prison officers, we don't have just prison men, do we? Yeah, but they're requiring, as a form of wokeism, that inmates be referred to as Mr. This, Mr. That. So in the event of, say, me locking Frank Fraser up, it wouldn't be a case of me saying, Fraser, get behind your door. You can imagine me getting called up by what is it they call them now? The wing managers, yeah? We've got a complaint in about you, Officer Sutton, from a man called Mr. Francis Fraser. He says that you said to him, Fraser, get behind your door. Is that correct? Well, yes. Why did you not refer to him as Mr. Fraser? Well, he's a shithouse. A first-rate, murdering, torturing, low-life shithouse is why I didn't refer to him as Mr. Fraser. He lost that right when he started nailing people to the floor, blowing them away with a blowtorch, and nailing them and ripping out their teeth with pliers. So I thought, shithouse Fraser was a little bit more appropriate, don't you? The problem is, of course, that those days have gone by. I am practically a Tyrannosaurus John. Yeah. And things have definitely passed. I mean, I can't imagine working in the prisons today and the wing I'm working on being under the command of some hostess. It just doesn't seem right. I agree that there's certain things in society that are horrible and sexist. Things like Hugh Hefner and his bunny girls, disgraceful. It's disrespectful. It's objectification. Yeah, the same with what's his name, Peter Stringfellow, a disgusting, horrible, perverted kind of guy. I thought, just looking at him, he reminded me a lot of Jimmy Savile. I don't know if you've thought about that. Have a look at him. Yeah, there's a certain similarity. A horrible creature, I thought, anyway. And so we've got this decision that's been made by the chief of the fire service in Greater Manchester, a man called David Russell. Well, you've got to understand he's under a lot of stress. He only earns £172,000 a year. That's all he's got to struggle by on that. Poor chap. Anyway, he's come up with this great idea that firemen don't exist. There's firefighters now. Well done, David. You've earned your money now. Yeah, Get your badge, yeah, from Downing Street, your MBE or whatever you're gonna get, your holiday home in Marbella. That's the stuff. Anyway, what I want to talk about now is what happened 12 months ago. Diabolical, horrible attack by that nutcase Vladimir Putin, who marched his troops into Ukraine and started opening fire. Tens and tens of thousands of soldiers have died, Ukrainian soldiers and Russian soldiers. They're conscripting people. They're conscripting adult males in their 50s to fire guns in the Russian army. They don't have any choice. They either go and do it or they get put against the wall and shot. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. George Orwell said that in his dystopian novel 1984. I highly recommend that you read that. I mean, it's alright, you've seen the film, you get the general idea, but the book is far more in depth. And it deals with the destruction of man's free will, which is pretty well what's happening today. I mean, look what we've got now. We've got the novels of Roald Dahl being what they believe to be rectified. You know, as if Roald Dahl made a mistake in poking fun at people by calling them names. It's just part of society. We can't change society like that. It's not Britain, is it? Britain has always been, you've got freedom of speech, but no longer freedom of speech. You can actually be prosecuted for sexist and misogynistic or racist remarks. You can. So you do not have freedom of speech anymore. Where does that come from? Undoubtedly it comes from the think tank in Westminster. Do not believe me that they've got a think tank there. They employ psychologists. And the psychologists work out exactly how far they can push society. And listen to this. These psychologists at Westminster, working for Westminster, they send out script ideas to the BBC and all the makers of the soap operas. You'll see, go look back, don't take my word for it, look back at the scripts on EastEnders, Coronation Street, etc. And you'll see in there, before it became really into the public domain, that there were ideas about same-sex marriages, you know, and they're introducing society to these new ideas. Quite why this has to be, it's beyond me. I mean, I haven't thought that out. Perhaps I should do. But they do that, and they program society to actually accept this. And you can see it. I've seen it many times myself, and I've remarked to my wife, this is an indoctrination. I don't watch them myself, but if I'm sat there having a cup of tea or a biscuit or whatever, and it happens to be on, because I never watch them, and I'll just point that out to my wife, she doesn't accept that, she won't accept it. No, it's just part of the script. But it isn't. It's part of the plan that they have, the psychology think tank in Westminster. So as I was saying, it's 12 months to the day since that maniac, and he is a maniac, by the way. You've only got to look at his eyes. They're too close together, aren't they? I could correct that. It would take probably a couple of straight lefts between the snot box, and that could do it. Teach Vladimir Putin a lesson. Or give him an AK-47 and stick him on the front line. So I thought we would have a poem to commemorate 1 year of diabolical death, destruction, and an insult to the integrity of humanity. This is a poem written by Wilfred Owen in World War I, and Wilfred Owen was an officer in World War I, and he was killed before the end of the war in 1918. This is Anthem for Doomed Youth, because the youth that are sent to the front to fight the wars, they're doomed, or so they were in World War I. Do you know, in one day in World War I there was over 10,000 casualties on the British side. in the Battle of the Somme. This is by Wilfred Owen. What passing bells for those who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns, only the stuttering rifles' rapid rattle can patter out their hasty orisons. No mockeries now for them, no prayers, no bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs, the shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and bugles calling for them from sad shires. What candles may be held to speed them all? Not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, their flowers the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk the drawing down of blinds.